How I wish we could listen to gospel passages as the ones we have today more often. However, these passages are like the event we are going to witness today, or some of us, if we are lucky, the eclipse. It may come once in a while. And in the way we accept them are also like an eclipse. Sometimes we just take it from the surface and we don't pay attention. And we don't even realize what happens around us. However, today, what we celebrate is the memorial of St. Pius X. And to give you a little bit of a background, he came from a very poor family. And during his papacy, he sought to restore all things in Christ, to restore all things in Christ. Restoring things in Christ is an easy task if we allow Christ to take over. Therefore, Pope Pius X was very keen in one thing: communion, in sharing Christ, in receiving Christ. He was an advocate of frequent communion for adults. And he issued a decree on early communion, which before his papacy was taken at the age of 12, and before that at the age of 14. During his papacy was stated that children of 7 years of age can receive the first Holy Communion, which allowed us to participate in this great gift at an early age. It is in the heart of a man who was eager to receive Christ. He was eager to leave everything behind in order to just follow Christ. In one of his quotes, St. Pius X said, "My hope is in Christ, who strengthens the weakest by his divine help. I can do all in him who strengthens me. His power is infinite. And if I lean on him, this power will be mine." Jesus' wisdom is infinite. And if I look to him for counsel, I shall not be deceived. His goodness is infinite. And if I trust and stay in him, I shall not be abandoned. We, all of us who are gathered here, are privileged to partake of this heavenly gift of the Eucharist. And it is a sign of the important place Christ takes in our very lives. However, we need to be attentive to what we do and what happens after we partake of these heavenly mysteries. This is the beginning, receiving Christ here. We are constantly under the siege of the one who wants to snap us away from Christ. Therefore, we have to place all our hope in Christ when we feel weak, when we feel powerless, when we face ignorance, when we feel that we are at the brink of falling into temptation. After leaving the celebration of the Eucharist, we need to rely even the more in Jesus Christ. We can be deceived easily by the comfort we have around us, making us blind of what is really important. We can be deceived by futile moments of joy, and we can look eagerly for them. We can be deceived by our many possessions, not willing to leave them behind to follow Christ. Our many attachments can be a hindrance to accept Christ fully and utterly. Moments of despair and moments of need can make us turn to the many Baals that surround us, despite the example of our ancestors and our friends. We can turn to them. Or it could be that a loved one is turning to them, to these Baals, thus falling away from the presence of the Lord. However, today, my brothers and sisters, if we are living an exemplary Christian life, if we haven't fallen into the influence of the Baals, let us try to restore ourselves to Christ. If we are living this exemplary Christian life, maybe it's time to turn to Christ and ask, what do I still lack? We could learn from Christ's saints, like St. Pius X, that even though we have come to the summit of our faith, we still need to leave things behind. Things that are not allowing us to be completely restored in Christ. So today, through the intercession of St. Pius X, let us eagerly look for Christ in our lives, to be restored and to be made new by His power, His wisdom, and His presence in our lives.